Biden administration tells ex-Trump officials to resign. Motherfucking CNN. The Biden administration has told 11 officials appointed to military service academy advisory boards by former President Donald Trump to resign or be dismissed. Source familiar with CNN's K-File. Officials asked to resign include prominent former Trump officials like former White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer, former senior counselor to the president Kellyanne Conway, and former National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster. They were appointed to the advisory boards of the Naval Academy, Air Force Academy, and West Point, respectively. We'll get the CNN piece on this.
11 officials who had been appointed to military service academy boards by former President Trump to...
I think we have Kellyanne's response in this.
Says those told to resign include prominent officials such as Sean Spicer, Kellyanne Conway, David Urban, H.R. McMaster. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki answered questions this afternoon about whether President Biden was politicizing the issue.
I will let others evaluate whether they think Kellyanne Conway and Sean Spicer and others were qualified or not political to serve on these boards. But the president's qualification requirements are not your party registration. They are whether you're qualified to serve and whether you're aligned with the values of this administration.
Well, Kellyanne Conway just responded on Twitter with a copy of the letter she sent back to President Biden, which concludes, "I'm not resigning, but you should." Let's discuss. Sungmin, let me start with you. Psaki was responding to your question there, but we should point out, it's not just...
Dude, DK, I don't give a shit. What the fuck you want to throw up? Oh, but Biden did this. That has nothing to do with what we are talking about. Go the fuck away, dude. I'll have somebody ban you. Like, that is completely irrelevant. I don't give a shit what you're talking about. Fucking Biden misremembers shit all the time. That's been his entire fucking political career. I don't give a shit. I voted for Biden to empower Bernie Sanders. I voted for Biden to empower AOC, Pramila Jayapal. Fucking fuck Biden. I don't like him. I give him credit where credit is due. I criticize him where it's warranted. But I do not give a shit about some hearsay gossip about, oh, Jewish leaders said he didn't actually visit. Fuck the fuck off. It has nothing to do with policy, which is what we are talking about here. No, you get what I'm saying though, right? How fucking stupid you are. I wish you could feel embarrassment. Please feel embarrassment. It would save the rest of us a lot of time. But I mean, clearly I wanted to engage with what you said because fucking yelling at dumb fucks is my bread and butter over here. It's good content. But like, I would like a higher level of dumb fuck, you know? I would like somebody that's at least talking about something that matters. I don't want to have to argue about stupid fucking gossip bullshit.
Political figures like Kellyanne Conway.
Not high enough for this shit.
Fired from these boards includes David Urban, who used to be a commentator here. He went to West Point. H.R. McMaster, who he was fired from the board of West Point today by Biden, but on Saturday he's going to get their highest alumni association award for graduates. So there are some individuals that have a claim to these positions who were just fired.
Right. And the point that Jen was making to our questions earlier today is that these are presidential appointees. So, of course, they serve at the pleasure of the president who is in office. And she said she wanted appointees to the board that would better reflect the president's values. But also these boards, traditionally, these are, largely advisory and ceremonial. A lot of these they're 3-year terms. They go across administration. So it was an interesting move by the administration to do this. Now, how far the former Trump officials
Trump did it.
Make it an issue, we'll have
I don't know for like those specific boards, but he asked all kinds of Obama appointees to resign.
Push this on a little bit further.
Right, and it wasn't exactly a letter that was demonstrating that she was capable of doing the job in a nonpartisan way.
True. We have new video of the pipe bomb that was planted during the insurrection on January the 6th.
We have some breaking news on that front coming out of Washington. The FBI is releasing new video regarding the person suspected of placing pipe bombs near the Capitol the night before the January 6th riot. It is one of the biggest unsolved mysteries of that day. NBC News Justice correspondent Pete Williams joins us now with more on this from Washington. Pete, what does the video show? What more is the FBI saying about this case?
Well, the investigators say they still don't know who did this, and they're hoping that these two new videos can help generate some valuable tips. The first one shows the suspect walking up to and sitting down on a park bench near the headquarters of the Democratic National Committee.
Sitting on a park bench. Dun, 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 dun.
The bomb is planted later after this surveillance video, but you see the suspect sitting down there at the park bench, reaching into a...
Oh, yeah, busting out a little Jethro Tull on you.
And taking out what appears to be a phone. You see the suspect sort of illuminated here in just a second from the light from the cell phone as the suspect apparently looks at the phone, then puts it back in the backpack and walks away. The suspect was wearing a face mask, gray hoodie, black and white gray.
Well, good on them for wearing a mask.
Turf shoes and gloves in addition to carrying a backpack. Now, all this happened...
I mean, that's the funniest thing about the insurrection is that all the fucking... insurrectionists had a perfectly fine reason to wear masks and didn't because they're idiots.
The route that the FBI believes the suspect took from the Democratic National...
I think we're just shy of 600 arrests now.
The other bomb that was placed at the headquarters of the Republican National Committee, both of these near the Capitol. The Republican National Committee on First Street, the Democratic National Committee on South Capitol, both of them in southeast Washington. And as the video rolls along, it's not just a still frame map, but you'll see the dot there of the person moving along. And then the video also, there's a version of this video that lays in previously seen surveillance videos of the suspect walking along those various places. So there's, I gather, two versions of this map. One shows the route itself. And you see down on the lower right screen.
How the fuck is a phone ringing in MSNBC's goddamn fucking TV studio?
Away from the Republican National Committee site, and here's how it shows the video laid in.
Maybe that's why George had some issues with her. Like they had a contentious relationship there at the end. Probably still do.
Was based, although investigators now say they don't believe that the person was from this area of Capitol Hill. So they've obviously canvassed probably every house along this route. They've looked for every single frame of surveillance video that they can find. And they've been able to, by looking at all these various videos, figure out where this person was walking, where they came from, and how they came to plant these two pipes.
I mean, I assume they're a visitor for the fucking rally.
Discovery just hours before the rioters stormed the Capitol pulled away many law enforcement people from the Capitol, and it was a distraction to law enforcement. And it's not only a mystery of who this person was, and I'm using the term person advisedly because investigators haven't said whether they believe it's a man or a woman, but one of the mysteries is these two pipe bombs made of metal pipe and what appeared to be ordinary kitchen timers. The analysts who've looked at them say they appeared to be fully functional. They were made with homemade black powder. So the question is, why didn't they go off?
Right.
And they've never been able to quite figure that out. What was the purpose of planting them? They just don't know because they don't know who this person was, Eamon.
Pete, real quick about this video. Do we know in terms of why it's released now? Was it just recently acquired by the FBI, or do we know if it was in their possession for some time but decided to release it now to get information?
Well, with all of these videos, they sort of follow the same function. When they get their hands on it, the first thing they do is analyze it and try to extract every last bit of evidence out of it before it's released publicly to see if there's something that can give them a jump on who this person is. When they're satisfied that they can't get anything more out of it themselves, that's when they turn it loose. They've done this now 3 or 4 times with different videos, hoping that somebody will see something in the way this person moved, their mannerisms, the route they took. Is there something familiar that will strike people as familiar and make them want to call the FBI? I should say you can see these videos yourself on the FBI's website.
Interesting. Now, there was a pipe bomb planted at both the DNC and the RNC. I wouldn't put that past Trump supporters who clearly were chanting "Hang Mike Pence." It was still the MAGA crowd that was there for the rally, I'm sure, and I wouldn't be surprised to find out that they were working with the Oath Keepers or the Proud Boys, who are on video the night before talking about the coordinated effort to attack the Capitol. Speaking of which, here we got a story about the Oath Keepers, one of which snitched on himself to an FBI agent. This motherfucker right here. An Oath Keeper and accused Capitol rioter who owns a tattoo parlor in upstate New York unwittingly poured his heart out to an off-duty FBI agent who'd stopped by his business for an appointment. Dumbest fucks walking the planet. Robert Menuda, who's facing serious conspiracy charges for his alleged role in the January 6th insurrection, was lulled into a false sense of security when a group of people, including the agent, booked an appointment to get matching tattoos at his parlor, Casa de Dolor, in Newborough, New York, on July 17th. During the 3.5 hours that the off-duty Fed and his entourage were getting tattooed, Menuda covered a lot of ground with regards to his case. According to recently unsealed court documents, he even ordered pizza. Menuda told the group that his life had been crazy since the 6th of January. According to the unclassified FBI memo, he explained that he was part of the security detail for right-wing operative and Trump ally Roger Stone on January 6th, who I guarantee was behind coordination between the groups. He called the conspiracy charges fake. Said he wasn't involved in any conspiracy and claimed he saw Antifa at the Capitol. FYI, there's absolutely no evidence to suggest that anti-fascist protesters were present at the Capitol. He said he had to turn in his firearms in exchange for being released pending the outcome of his jury trial, and has had some problems with security at airports, plus his travel is limited. He also talked about how his tattoo parlor had been vandalized in March after he'd been charged in connection with the Capitol riot. Oh, wow! Somebody vandalized your tattoo parlor. Are you one of the ones that smeared shit on the walls of the Capitol? Did you steal a door? Did you steal a door, motherfucker? The parts of the FBI memo are redacted. For example, Menuda told the group that I keep wanting to say like Menudo. Menuda told the group that he spoke to someone twice on January 6th, once to provide information about someone's security detail and another to advise that when the detail left. He also said that the FBI already knew about those calls having gone through his phone records. The off-duty agent who submitted a memo to the FBI about their conversation in the tattoo parlor insists that Menuda volunteered the information about his case and that the agent asked only one clarifying question, which was whether the felony charges he was facing were for conspiracy. But Menuda's lawyer is arguing the conversation wasn't a cool way to get information out of her client and that the interaction violated his constitutional rights. In a motion filed earlier, which I mean, hey, I can't blame a lawyer for trying to do whatever legal wrangling they can. Like, they have to act in their client's best interest, and their client's best interest is to get off, so I can't fault the lawyer for that, but that's hilarious. In a motion filed earlier this week, she asked the judge to throw out Menuda's case entirely. The Oath Keepers, an anti-government conspiracy-oriented militia, has been under intense scrutiny since nearly 20 of its members have been charged for their alleged involvement in the January 6th riot. In addition to being an Oath Keeper, Menuda had been photographed at earlier pro-Trump rallies in Washington, D.C., marching alongside members of the Proud Boys, another group that's overrepresented Capitol riot defendants. Look at this motherfucker right here. He was involved in stealing that door, or he smeared some shit on the walls. Look at him. He had to do it.